during this session. So welcome to this demo class. My name is Rao. I am the chief mentor for this program. We call it SAP Business Intelligence Program, and this is a demo class. So I'm going to walk you through the agenda for today. I'm going to give you a brief introduction about myself, and then we're going to talk about data warehousing, SAP's introduction, and miscellaneous topics. What is SAP's business intelligence? What does it comprise of? And we are going to we're going to look at a small demo on the tool, what you will be working on once you become SAP's business intelligence consultants. Okay, so that's the agenda for today. Obviously there are miscellaneous topics under each of these headings which we'll be covering. First of all, my profile. I'm not going to read out everything, just high level. My overall IT experience is about 19 years, out of which 15 years in SAP, out of which 13 years in SAP BI, and I have done the whole gamut of technologies within the BI space. You name it: business objects, integrated planning, things like that. There are a lot of things which are a part of the BI side. Some of them are planning and forecasting tools, which is not relevant for you guys. But I'm an SAP BI Platinum level consultant. Platinum level consultant is a consultant who is certified by SAP to be a Platinum consultant. What it is we have to go through a rigorous process of interviews, etc., from SAP's mid-level management, and also we should have minimum 6 industries experience, end-to-end implementations. There's a count which is a prerequisite for becoming a platinum level consultant. So I'm at this stage in my career. I'm also a subject matter expert in this area. I've been with the SAP Global Development Center in Bangalore for about a year doing HANA for SAP itself. And also I've done a lot of implementations and support projects all over the world, primarily North America and India, I would say. And I have worked in more than 14 industries. Overall 12 years of work experience in US. I'm back in Hyderabad due to a family situation, and I have been doing this training for the last 9 years now, both in America as well as India. All right, so that's my profile, and for all practical purposes I will be the chief mentor for this program. And the details of the program, the curriculum, everything, we will be talking about those things as we go on with the demo class. All right, clear so far, everybody? Can you hear me? Somebody, Nirmal, you're saying it is muted or something. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. Data warehousing. Let's talk about data warehousing. What is data warehouse? Okay, what is a warehouse first of all? Warehouse, or we call it in India in general terminology as a godown, right? Godown is a place where we store goods. If you are a company which is into manufacturing of a product, you will store the raw materials and the finished product in a godown. Okay, so if you are a trading company, you will buy stuff from suppliers and then you will store it in a godown, and when you're about to sell it to the customer, you're going to put your logo label onto the product and sell it. Okay, so godown or a warehouse is the same from a generic terminology. So data warehouse, what is a data warehouse? Data warehouse is a relational database basically which stores data. What kind of data? Business related data. When I say business related data, it can be a business which is a retail business or a large corporation or a small corporation or a medium corporation. What kind of business data are we looking at? We are looking at business data which is relating to sales, or finance or accounting or purchasing or production. Okay, so all these are different functions in an organization, and each of these functions actually run the organization, isn't it? So each of these functions have got their own information systems requirement. Data is entered through those information systems, and then it is brought into a data warehouse for reporting. Why do we bring this data into a data warehouse for reporting? Is the data warehouse supports decision making by management by giving the information at the right time to the management. Okay. All right, so that's just an idea about what a data warehouse is. A data warehouse is basically primarily used for querying and analysis rather than transaction processing. When I say querying and analysis, analysis means the data already is in the database. We're querying the data and then doing reporting and analysis to get to the information for making decisions. Some of the examples of data or reports what we can generate out of a data warehouse, you can see my cursor, isn't it, are listed here. Sales data. Let's say I'm a company which is into tire manufacturing company, which is into tire manufacturing. Now let's say Apollo Tires. Now I have a data warehouse where data is stored and I am using the data for reporting. What kind of reports which I can generate out of sales information? I can have a report which is sales by product line or a region or a division. Let's say I'm a sales manager. If I'm a sales manager, what is my responsibility? To make sure that the product line or product lines or the region or the division which I'm responsible or accounted for is doing well in terms of sales, meaning my sales is increasing day by day, okay, or it is at least consistent over a period of time. How do I make sure that this happens over a period of time? If I have a report or a bunch of reports which will give me sales by product line which I am responsible for, with the sales revenue as a key performance indicator, I will be able to monitor my sales of that product line or product lines over a period of time and take decisions. Let's say if a product line is really underperforming, there's no sale at all for the last 3 years, I can recommend to the management that this product line can be decommissioned, isn't it? Let us say as a sales manager, I am responsible for a region, and if the region, I am responsible for a couple of regions. One region is performing very well, the other region is performing on an average basis from a sales perspective. The second region which is performing on an average, which is having an average sales, what I can do is I can take a decision and maybe give more discounts in that particular region, or give some rebates to customers, whether wholesale customers or retail customers, to increase or give incentives to the customers to buy the products, right? So those kind of decision making I can do only if the information is available to me, right, in the form of reports. Those are the examples of sales data. Let's talk about financial data. Financial data in an organization.
Yes, now unmuted. 1 minute.
Okay. All right. So can you hear me, all of you? Okay. I guess everybody can hear me. Okay. So financial data. What could be an example or examples of financial reporting? P&L. P&L stands for profit and loss statement, balance sheet, and cash flow. What is P&L? It shows whether the company or the organization is making a profit or a loss, right? You can generate P&L by month, you can generate P&L by quarter, by half yearly, or even yearly, isn't it? And that will show whether the organization is making a profit or loss. Balance sheet. What does balance sheet report give you? Balance sheet will give you the overall financial health of the company, whether the company is doing well financially or not. What is cash flow statement report? Cash flow statement report is, it gives you sources and uses of funds. What are the sources of funds as of day? What is the fund which is coming in? And then what could be the uses of funds going forward? All right. That gives you the liquidity position of the corporation or the organization. So these are some financial reports. Purchasing data. Purchasing reports. What could be examples of purchasing reports which can actually result in better decision making by management? Let's talk about on-time delivery. What is this on-time delivery report? Okay, let's say I am a tire manufacturing company. To manufacture tires, I need raw materials, isn't it? Raw materials can be rubber, valves, tubes, etc. Now we have tubeless tires too. That's a different thing altogether. But let's take an example of tires with tubes. So the raw material comes in, and these raw materials are supplied by suppliers or vendors to the company, isn't it? Now, if the raw materials which I am purchasing as a company from suppliers or vendors, if they are not delivered on time, right? If they're not delivered on time, what is the impact? The impact is on production. The impact is on delivery to the customers. If there is a delay in on-time delivery of raw materials, production gets affected. If the production gets affected, my delivery schedules to the customers or what I promise to the customers, I will not be able to meet that schedule. Thereby, I will lose customers, isn't it? So on-time delivery report, which can be predominantly obtained from purchasing data, right? That if that would actually result in taking better decisions to see which vendor we should continue as an organization and which vendor we should not continue as an organization to supply raw materials. Okay, so it is so critical. Similarly, purchasing volume. Purchasing volume report is whether the organization is over purchasing or under purchasing. Over purchasing in terms of raw materials, if you talk about production related materials, or over purchasing in terms of non-production materials. Non-production materials would be, let's say I have a cafeteria, right? And the cafeteria, I need to have all the stuff which is required for making sure that employees get what they want. Similarly, stationery in an office, that is also a non-production material, isn't it? Which it doesn't go into the production of finished goods, right? So purchasing volume report will determine whether I'm over purchasing or under purchasing. If I'm over purchasing unnecessarily, my inventory is high. Inventory means what I'm storing when there is no demand. Let's say, for example, I have an orders for 10,000 tires, okay, truck tires, but my raw material which is in the warehouse is suitable, or is it will meet about 50,000 tires of demand, right? My orders on hand is only 10,000, but I have stocked up a lot of raw material. That is cost to the company, right? So the purchasing volume report would actually give you what are we doing? Are we over purchasing or under purchasing? And then we can take decisions accordingly. All right. Production data. What could be reports, examples in production data? Work in progress. If the management wants to know how many tires have been manufactured at this point of time on the shop floor in the assembly line, and that kind of a report can be obtained obtained and given to the management via the production WIP, work in progress reports. Just an example. So these kind of reports can be generated out of a data warehouse. Now the data which is coming into the data warehouse is from different information systems within the organization. Right? We will come to that in the subsequent slide. Clear so far, everybody? Can you hear me clearly? Can everybody hear me? Murugesan, you can hear me or no? Okay, good. All right, so let's move on. Any questions so far? I don't know why you're not able to use the chat. Can you use the chat, please? Are you able to look at the chat panel? Use the chat. It's very convenient and it's easy also. Anyway, I'm moving on. Let's talk about some concepts in data warehousing. All right. OLTP system versus OLAP systems. What are OLTP systems versus what are OLAP systems in a data warehousing scenario? OLTP systems are those systems which are used specifically to enter business transactions on a day-to-day basis. Okay. OLTP systems are nothing but a bunch of applications through which the users will enter business transactions and the data gets stored in a database. Classic example of a retail OLTP system. Let's say you go to Reliance Trends or Walmart. When you go to Reliance Trends and Walmart, you put everything in a shopping cart or a basket, and then whatever you're buying, and you will come to the counter. When you come to the counter, there's a guy sitting there, and he's actually scanning whatever you want to buy, and then everything gets entered into a system. Finally, he gives a bill, you make the payment, walk out, right? That particular system in a retail store is an online transaction processing system, okay, from a definition perspective. This online transaction processing system is an example of an online OLTP system of a retail store. If you'll talk about corporates, whether small, medium or large corporations, you will have OLTP systems to do accounting transactions, sales transactions, purchasing transactions, inventory transactions, etc. Let's talk about an example of an accounting transaction. If I am a company and I have an OLTP system and I want to pay salaries to employees, when I want to pay salaries to employees, I need to post accounting entries, isn't it? I need to do some transactions in HR system. Let me give you an example of a sales transaction. If I am a tire manufacturing company and I'm selling tires to a customer, let's say a wholesale customer, I need to book that particular sale in an information system, and that information system is an online transaction processing system. Okay, all right, so I hope you get the point of an OLTP system. Now, if you talk about large or medium or small corporations, there might be a scenario where they have ERP systems, enterprise resource planning systems. What are these systems? They are nothing but OLTP systems. These systems are having multiple applications, each application supporting a business function in an organization. But each of these applications are tightly integrated with one single database. Okay? So that's a very high level layman terminology definition of an ERP software solution. Multiple applications, each application supporting a business function, finance, accounting, sales, production, procurement, HR, right? Each of them are functions in an organization, and you will have multiple applications supporting each of those business function, but a single database. Okay, so it's not each department will not be using a separate information system. It's just one information system, multiple applications, single database. That's ERP. All right. And then let's talk about OLAP system. What is OLAP system? Online Analytical Processing System. Okay, typically a data warehouse. That's what we are going to become experts in, isn't it? So a data warehouse which is used to extract, transform and load business data from an OLTP system. Meaning an OLAP system's major function is basically to extract data from different OLTP systems where transactions are happening on a day-to-day basis. Transform, meaning apply business rules. You can apply business rules to transform data and load it to a data warehouse or an OLAP system. And when you load it to a data warehouse, what is that we are going to do from a data warehouse perspective? We are going to do reporting on top of that data warehouse. Get meaningful reports and information out of the data warehouse for decision making. All right. So that is an online analytical processing system. So now you're clear on what OLTP system is and what an OLAP system is from a data warehousing perspective. Clear? Everybody? Okay. All right. So let me move on with the next slide. This slide is basically, it will show you the overall data flow. Okay, overall data flow in a data warehouse. On the left side, you have different systems. This might be an SAP system. This might be an Oracle system. There might be some files which store business data, right? There might be files which might store sales data. There might be an SAP financial system or an Oracle manufacturing system in an organization, right? Or consolidated, there might be one system called an ERP. Any system which supplies data to a data warehouse in an SAP BI environment is called a source system. Okay, that's just a terminology. Any system which supplies data to the data warehouse is a source system. And within the source system, you might have multiple data sources. So I'm going to explain to you this concept with an Excel. So I'm going to open an Excel file. So let's say I have an Oracle HR database. This becomes a source system. In an Oracle HR database, where human resource data is stored, I might have multiple tables: employee master, position master, job master, payroll, transaction table, etc. Each of these becomes data source. Okay, so that is the concept. It's nothing but terminology. Remember, when you are learning SAP BI, it's all about terminology and common sense. Okay, that is what I'm going to teach you, and you guys are going to be working on. All right, so this is an example of what a source system would be and what data sources would be. So I go back to the PowerPoint, and that's what I mean by what is in the left side of this particular slide. Okay, clear so far, everybody? Okay. Then on the center part of the screen, you have the warehouse, data warehouse itself. You can store metadata, you can store raw data, which is untransformed data coming in from your sources, or you can summarize the data into a meaningful reportable data. So what is metadata? Metadata is nothing but data about data. So what is metadata? Is nothing but data about data. Your fields, your tables, your data elements, right? All that is metadata. With obviously, since it's an RDBMS, you need to have metadata to store data, right? So that is what metadata is all about. So I go back to the PowerPoint. So that is metadata. What is raw data? Raw data is untransformed data, meaning if I have sales information, let us say, in a sales order, and what does a typical sales order contain? It will have sales order number, maybe item numbers, maybe definitely customer, material, quantity, price, etc., isn't it, as a transaction. And if I load that data into the data warehouse from the source without applying any business rules, it becomes raw data coming into the warehouse. Why do we need raw data in the warehouse when we have the source systems? when we do reporting on the data warehouse, if at any point of time, if a user wants to see what is the raw data, we don't want the user to go back to a report by logging into the source system. At the data warehouse level itself, I want the user to have flexibility to look at the raw data. So that's why we bring the raw data as it is, and then we summarize or do different kinds of manipulation which is required for reporting. So that is what raw data means, untransformed data within the warehouse, okay, where we don't apply any business rules. Summary data. What is summary data? Summary data is basically you can summarize the data set based on your reporting requirements. So I'm going to give you an example in Excel. So I go back here. So what is a sales transaction? Sales order number, item number, material number, customer number, quantity, price, value, country, region, product group. Okay, all right. Value is basically quantity into price. That's what it is. It's a calculated. So this is raw data or detailed data, correct? Let's say my reporting requirement says I only want summaries. So what is summary data? I can summarize the data by value, which is quantity into price, by country, region, product group, and customer. So I will not go into the details of sales order number and item number. So when I want to summarize the data, I will have this data stored in a separate place in a warehouse, but I will load that particular detailed data into a separate table. We call it InfoCube, which stores summarized data for reporting. What drives this summarized data is nothing but your users' reporting requirements. So clear on raw data, detailed data, and summary data? So far so good. Somebody send, right? Murugesan, I don't know, Murugesan, what is happening. At the best what I can do is I can send you a recording. Usually I use GoToMeeting but not webinar, so I don't know what's happening. So sorry about that, but if you're able to get to the recording, then you will be able to listen to the whole thing. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's what a warehouse stores from a data warehousing perspective. And remember, this entire data flow is at a high level. You guys come from different backgrounds. Yeah, that's why I use more generic terminology and examples to explain, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. All right. Okay, so now let's look at the right side, what is here. So based on the data which is stored in the warehouse, why are we bringing the data into a data warehouse from different source systems? Ultimately for reporting, isn't it? So reporting is classified into analytical reporting, canned reporting, and data mining. So I'm going to give you very high level definitions and examples. What is analytical reporting? Analytical reporting by users is nothing but, let's say there is a CEO, okay, and CEO needs a report which is sales revenue by product line, country, and region. Okay, a high level report, and what he would do is he would not go into the BW system or the BI system, log in, give the credentials, run the report and get the output, and then use that information for decision making. What he would do, he or she would call a lady or a gentleman called an executive assistant and say, yes, I need this report through a phone call, and the executive assistant is typically He or she will know business intelligence, the technical side to build a query on the fly, get to the information, and provide that information to the CEO. All right. So that is what normally happens. Now, who are these kind of users? These users are called business analysts or super users who know technology, meaning query building, etc., execution, slice and dice, drill down, and all capabilities. I'm going to show you those capabilities in an example at the end of the demo as to what you are going to build as BI consultants and deliver to customers. Okay. But anyway, coming back to this, these guys are called super users and they do analytical reporting, slice and dice, drill down and all that. When the first reporting requirement came from CEO, he asked, I want sales revenue by country, region, and let's say product line. Then again, after giving that information or getting that information from the executive assistant, again there's a call saying, oh, I need the same report to be drilled down to one more level, customer level. Okay, so again the business analyst would immediately get into the system and then drill down by customer and provide that information to CEO. So these are called business analysts or super users who do analytical reporting, slice and dice, etc. Okay. Then comes canned reporting. Canned reporting means it's like a canned juice, a report which is already created, given to the user only presses a button, executes the report and takes a printout and uses this information for decision making. So that's why just like canned juice, these are canned reports, pre-configured, pre-formatted reports. Nobody can change it. The only thing user can do is execute it and use that information. The output, whatever is generated, the information is used by the user for decision making. All right. Then there is another type of reporting which is called data mining. Data mining at a high level, it's a big concept, but just in layman terminology I will give you. There is a concept called KPIs, key performance indicators. What are key performance indicators in a company? Key performance indicators in a company are your sales revenue, your gross profit, your net profit, right? Your head count versus the sales revenue or turnover, we call it in India, things like that. These are key performance indicators in a company. We call them KPIs. So data mining, that every data warehouse will have certain data mining tools which can be used, which take the normal KPIs as an input and derive much more granular and meaningful KPIs, okay, which otherwise would not have derived if we don't have data mining functionality in a data warehouse. Okay, so that is what data mining is all about. So it's like mining into the data, okay, getting into details to get more meaningful KPIs. Without any mining tools, this is not possible. Okay, so just a high level data flow, how data flow from source to the warehouse, what kind of data is stored in a warehouse, and then what are the different reporting capabilities which a data warehouse would offer to the users. Clear so far, everybody? Okay. All right, so let's move on. The next slide is just an overview of what SAP is. First of all, SAP is a German-based company and it's world's leading application software vendor. When I say application software, it is business application software, not Microsoft Office. Okay. All right, so that's number one. Number two is SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. That's the full form of SAP. All right. The most important thing which you guys to remember, it's not SAP. There's no word called SAP. It is SAP. The moment you say SAP, the interviewer knows that you don't know anything about SAP. All right. So that is one of the things which you need to keep in mind. Okay. So don't tell somebody after this demo class that, yeah, I've been to a SAP demo right now. That's incorrect. Okay. All right. So SAP's ERP product, we call it Enterprise Core Component. The current version of SAP's ERP software, which is implemented by a lot of corporations worldwide, thousands of installations worldwide. Still, the installations are going on and implementations are going on in some companies. And this ERP product, which is called ECC 6.0 version, is the flagship product of SAP. They have other products also, like our BW, Business Warehouse, which is the data warehousing. I'm going to get into each of those products in the subsequent slide. So when I say flagship product, ERP product, which is ECC, what does this ECC support? It supports major functions in an organization from an information systems perspective. Each of the functions in an organization have got information system needs. People need to enter data, business transactions. If you talk about accounting, people need to put in accounting entries every time when there is a transaction. If you talk about sales, orders are being booked, invoices are being sent to the customers, right, for payments. If you talk about procurement, we are talking about purchase orders being created, and then incoming goods which come from suppliers are being received, which goes into the inventory and all that. So these transactions are happening in different functions within the enterprise, and the ERP system itself supports all these functions. Apart from this, we have other products in SAP, which is our data warehousing product, reporting product, and all that. I'll come to the next slide and then explain to you what they are. All right. Now, when I say flagship product, you know BMW, right? In BMW, what is a flagship model in BMW? What is the flagship model which carries the image of the company as an automobile maker, a German automobile major? BMW 7 Series, isn't it? 7 Series is the car or the model. It has different variants, but 7 Series signifies or showcases what kind of a car it is to the world, right? So similarly, SAP's ECC product is a flagship product of SAP. Let's talk about the competitors in the ERP world or the application software world. SAP and Oracle are major vendors in this industry. So just like how SAP has got its own ERP product called ECC 6.0, Oracle has got its own Oracle applications. All right, it's not the Oracle database, it's Oracle applications. You might have heard, in short, we call it Oracle apps. Oracle apps, SAP ERP, which is ECC 6.0, are similar products supporting different organizations. Okay. Just like how we have SAP Business Intelligence, Oracle BI is also there. But SAP's market share in BI is huge. All right. And it's a much more superior product. Not that I'm an SAP consultant, I'm saying that you will know once you get trained, number one, or while you're getting trained, how fantastic product it is, number one. Number two is the demand for SAP is much higher from a BI perspective than Oracle. All right. We'll talk about those in the subsequent slides. The next slide, different product offerings. The multiple products which SAP offer to its customers. Okay, hold on for a minute, please. 1 second. Okay, there was some noise from a car which is reversing. Hold on, just pardon me for a minute, okay? Okay, I can't help it, I can't control the traffic outside. Sorry. All right, so we have different products. The first one is the Enterprise Core Component. It's the ERP product of SAP. It's called ECC. The current version is 6.0. This is the maximum number of installations are there in the world, and this becomes the major source for most of the BI implementations. Okay, you remember I was talking about source systems, isn't it? So ERP product of SAP, 90% of the time they are the source system for any project which you will be working on. The remaining 10% can be any other systems or any file-based sources, etc. Okay, so this is your ERP product. Then you have the data warehousing product, which is BW, which is a part of the course which we are offering, and of course business objects, which is analytical and reporting product, meaning you can do analytics and you can do reporting. So these two form the SAP BI suite. The BW and BO form the SAP BI, Business Intelligence Suite. Okay. The fourth product which I want to highlight is the enterprise portal, which is kind of a portal. You know, a Yahoo portal. In Yahoo portal, what do? You only sign on once into Yahoo. You can check your email. You have any business related functionality in Yahoo via the portal, you can do that. You can look at horoscopes, you can look at movies, you can book movies, tickets, etc., things like that. You know, you can look at stocks, everything with a single sign-on, meaning you can do all these activities only signing on once. And the user interface is all web-based interface, isn't it? Similarly, in an enterprise, for an enterprise, SAP has delivered a product called Enterprise Portal, which is nothing but a web-based user interface which runs on any browser, and there is a single sign-on functionality. For example, if I'm a sales manager in an organization and I have BW, I have ECC, I have BO, I have CRM, and all those different solutions, SAP solutions implemented in my company. Now, what is my daily job? My daily job is to come in the morning, execute the daily sales report and sales by product line report, couple of reports from BW, one report from business objects, couple of transactions from ECC, one transaction from CRM, etc. So if I have to do all these things without enterprise portal, I need to sign on to each one of these systems and do my transactions, isn't it? It becomes a pain in the neck, isn't it? So instead of doing all that, if I have enterprise portal, depending on my role, enterprise portal can be configured to give you one UI to do all these transactions with one single sign-on, just like Yahoo portal. Okay, so that is what enterprise portal product is all about. Now, why am I emphasizing on only these four products is because these four products are the products which you will be working on closely as SAP BI consultants. Enterprise portal, how does it come into picture? Because you're publishing the reports what you build as a BI consultant into the enterprise portal, and that's what you need to know. All right, so that's the reason why I emphasize on these four product offerings which are implemented by most of the corporations worldwide. Okay, then they have other products, CRM, which is almost equal to Siebel. Obviously Siebel is still number one from a CRM perspective. SRM, which is supplier relationship management, master data management, exchange infrastructure. These are some of the products which SAP sells to its customer. One thing I would like to emphasize here is that SAP NetWeaver. What is this term NetWeaver? NetWeaver is nothing but a platform. It's a suite of products. These products which are listed in this particular slide and many more, which are delivered to customers who buy the license. Okay, so there's nothing like I got trained in SAP NetWeaver. It doesn't make sense. People used to say that in Hyderabad. That means they did not get trained in nothing. All right. So SAP NetWeaver training is actually like this. If somebody has to say I got trained in SAP NetWeaver, they should say I have got trained in SAP NetWeaver BW. I have got trained in SAP NetWeaver ECC with FI or SD module. Okay, that is what the right thing is. Anyway, just an extra information for your benefit. NetWeaver is a suite, can be sold as a complete package, or it can be customized and sold to customers. Meaning, if I am a company, I don't need the entire NetWeaver suite. I might go for a NetWeaver suite with ECC, BW, BO, and CRM and enterprise portal. I don't want SRM, I don't want MDM, I don't want exchange infrastructure. Okay, so that also has that is also a possibility when a company is buying SAP for implementing SAP in their corporation for running their business processes. Okay. Okay. Just a little bit of market overview as to what SAP is all about. It's a world leader in application software. I'm talking about business application software. Market share in business intelligence and analytics space is more than 23%. This was an old data. This is about 1.5 years old. I don't know the latest number. You can go to Gartner research and figure it out. Gartner is a premier research company which actually publishes this kind of information based on their market research, and the whole world accepts it blindly, whatever they say. All right, so that's about their market share. And SAP consultants are highly paid individuals. You already know that. If you don't know that, I'll give you an example. A 10 years experience SAP BI consultant will make $100 an hour on an average in US, versus a 10 years Oracle BI consultant who will be making $70 to $80 an hour in US. Similarly, across the world, there is a difference between SAP consultants versus other technologies. I'm not saying other technologies suck, but this is just a differentiating factor from a pay perspective between SAP and non-SAP consultants. Okay. Now, SAP as a strategic move, what they did is they have earlier SAP was only affordable to Fortune 500, Fortune 100, and Fortune 1000 corporations. Okay. But SAP as a strategic move customized the software and brought the pricing down to meet the small and medium companies' requirements also. And that's why the market share has increased over a period of time. There are two, coming back to the last 2 points, there are two kinds of career options you have. There are a lot of companies which have implemented SAP in India, and you can go and join their IT support staff to support their solutions. Some of the companies, one of the company which I worked was Ranbaxy Laboratories way back in late 90s as an ABAP consultant. In those days, I was not doing BI, and I did work in Nehru Place, Delhi, in Ranbaxy, and they are a very established customer with SAP. They've been running SAP for so many years now. All right. So you can join their IT support staff. That's one of the career options, but the best career option would be to get into service organizations like Wipro, TCS, Cognizant, etc., where you have an opportunity to do not only domestic projects but also go abroad and have a stint abroad and do some implementations with multinational corporations in different countries. So that is another career option. There are two products which I said which form the SAP's business intelligence suite. One is business warehouse, the other is business objects. Let's talk about a high-level summary of what these products are all about. SAP BW is a data warehousing solution, fully functional comprehensive data warehousing solution which has ETL and reporting capabilities. What is ETL? Extraction, transformation, and loading, right? There are a lot of other ETL tools available in the market, Informatica, etc. SAP's BW has its own ETL within the software itself. We don't need a third-party ETL. So it's a comprehensive data warehouse which has both ETL and reporting capabilities. It's got its own reporting tools. Stable SAP product having thousands of installations worldwide. What does it mean? It means that there are thousands of installations worldwide. There are new customers being added on a daily basis on a daily basis worldwide for SAP implementations. It's a stable SAP product, has been in the industry for so long, and anybody who has got the SAP ERP has BW. That's a thumb rule. Okay. Then that is where the market share is very high. Can fetch data from multiple sources, meaning SAP BW can accept data from SAP systems, non-SAP systems like Oracle Apps, Siebel, you name it, file-based sources and other databases. If a customer has got, or if a company has got some custom homegrown database solutions, then even that database information can be brought into BW. All right. It can also supply data to other databases, warehouses if required. What does this mean? An example of what it could entail to. If I'm having a headquarters in Germany, let's say it's a German headquarters company, and then two subsidiaries, one in India and one in China. And each of these entities have got their own BW installation. Okay. And at the end of the month, I want Indian subsidiary and Chinese subsidiary BW systems to send data to the German headquarters BW system for consolidation of reporting. That is a possibility. Another scenario, let us say the headquarters is using an enterprise data warehouse which is not a BW system. Let us say it's a hypothetical situation. It is, and let's say it's a Teradata or some other Cognos or something which is different from SAP, right? Or a homegrown data warehouse. And then two subsidiaries in India and China decided that they want BW as a data warehouse. So the BW systems in India and China can send the data to a different data warehouse altogether, which is sitting in Germany for consolidation of information for reporting. All right. This is just a hypothetical example. Somebody gets a taste of BW, they will not go to any other data warehouse. Let me be very upfront here. Okay. All right. Robust and scalable architecture. What does it mean? Scalable means very simple. I can start a BW server, deploy it, which has 16 GB RAM and 100 GB hard drive. As simple as that. Maybe a desktop. Okay. Now, that desktops are coming with 16 GB RAM right now. Very powerful desktops. Okay. So that's what I mean. And it can be scalable to terabytes depending on the organizational needs. What would be the organizational needs in this case? Day by day, the business transactions are increasing in a corporation's OLTP systems. So the OLAP system, which is the data warehouse, also needs to scale up to it, because ultimately the business transactions data from the OLTP systems will be brought into the OLAP systems for reporting, isn't it? That's what I mean by scalability. Flexible scheduling options for data load processes. What do I mean by this? Flexible scheduling options for data load processing or processes. I told you what ETL is all about. Extract, transform, and load. What we do is we extract from source systems and load it to the data warehouse for reporting. Now, I should have a data warehouse which offers me flexibility to load data every half an hour, every hour, every 3 hours, every 6 hours, every day, every half a day, every week, or once in a week, once a month, etc. So flexible scheduling options for data load processes means BW offers that flexibility to load data. Okay. Multiple reporting tools. There are two kinds of reporting tools available for BW. One is Business Explorer Suite, we call it BEX, and then Business Objects, which is of course another suite of reporting tools. Reporting tools are nothing but tools which are used to create queries and reports. They are mainly front-end tools. Okay. Is everybody there, or hold on, let me just check. Well, I can't see the participants panel. So anyway, I'm assuming that everybody is there. Okay, business objects. This company was, Business Objects was a separate company. It was acquired by SAP a few years ago to increase their market share in the business intelligence space. Business Objects at that time had about 41,000 customers worldwide, and SAP as a strategic move acquired Business Objects to increase their market share. Now, Business Objects was primarily into front-end tools, reporting and querying and analytical tools, but they also have ETL capability tools. We call it data services, and this was a company which was acquired by SAP, and the software has been integrated with BW as a data warehouse thoroughly. Okay, so BW and Business Objects become the BI suite. Now that doesn't mean that you need to know BO as well as BW to become a BI consultant. Okay, I will explain to you why and how you need to approach your learning map from a SAP's perspective in this regard. Okay, just bear with me. BO has got flexible and robust tools, excellent functionality in formatted, analytical and dashboard reporting capabilities. What is formatted reporting? Best example is balance sheet, P&L. What do we do with P&L? We want to know whether the company is making a profit or a loss. What do we do with balance sheet report? We want to know the financial status of a company, your assets, your liabilities, etc. Whom do we give this information? We give it to income tax authorities on a timely basis, depending on the income tax rules, if it is in India, or we submit it to IRS within US on a timely basis, isn't it? The format doesn't change unless income tax authorities change the format. So it is a pre-formatted report, which is what these reports examples are, is what I have just told you. So formatted reporting tool is available within Business Object Suite for us to create those kind of reports and use them. We call them crystal reports. That's a tool within the Business Object Suite. All right. Analytical capabilities, analytical reporting capabilities. You have a fantastic tool called Web Intelligence. The reports are run on the web on any browser. Fantastic presentation and viewing capabilities of business data, and I can do slice and dice. I can drill down, do all kinds of analytics. I'm going to give you an example of a BEX analytics tool, which is called Business Explorer Analyzer, at the end of the demo to show you what analytical capabilities are and what you will be delivering to your customer or your user as a BI consultant. Dashboard capabilities. What is a dashboard? Dashboard means, what is a car dashboard? What does it do? If you're sitting in a car, what does a dashboard signify? What does it do? What does it give you? It tells you what speed you're going in. It tells you how much fuel is left in the car, tank, fuel tank, etc. With that information, you will be able to make decisions. What kind of decisions? If you're going too fast, isn't it? If you're going too fast and if it is risky or you're driving dangerously, then you need to slow down. So you can make a decision to slow down, right? If your fuel tank gauge is showing low or it's in a red area, you need to know that you need to stop at a gas station or a petrol bunk to fill up, isn't it? It will allow you as a driver of the car to take a decision or make a decision, right? Similarly, dashboards are nothing but reporting capabilities which are visualization, like graphs, pie charts, bar charts, whatever it might be, even maps, where senior management can look at it with a glance and just glance at it and make a decision that yes, I need to do this. Let's say if I have a pie chart which shows sales revenue by country, and if a country is showing very less, then I can immediately comment on it and make a decision that yes, this country, we have to do something about this country's sales. It's going down or it's not doing well. If there's a trending chart of sales revenue for the entire year and one of the months, if the sales revenue is low, right? With a glance, a management guy can take a decision saying we need to do something about it. Why did the sales go down in this month? And then dig into that information and ask questions to the right people, right? So that's where I can take actions as a management guy. So that is a dashboard. So there are dashboard reporting capabilities too in business objects. All right. So that is what these two components are. They comprise the entire SAP BI suite. Now, let me show you the Business Explorer Query Designer. All right. So that is the BW front-end reporting tool. I'm going to just log into our system. We go into remote desktop connection. All these things you will be doing, so don't worry. Okay, so I'm just getting into the system to show you an example report and how we can do slice and dice, etc. So this is the SAP logon icon, which you will be when you install the GUI software in your laptop. You get this icon, you double click on this icon, and you'll have a list of systems which you can log on to. I'm logging on to BI 7.3 system. We already did the ETL with the sample data for this demo. So the ETL part, I can't demo it, but I'm going to show you a report how it looks like. What I believe is you need to know what you will be doing for the rest of your life as BI consultants before you take a decision that you need to do BI or get into BI. Okay, so it's very important. Lot of demos, what happens is they talk about a lot of terminology which you might not understand and finish the demo, and the idea is to confuse you guys and then lure you into the training program. We don't do that. Okay, we want you to understand what you will be doing in future before you make a call. All right, so I'm going to open that tool. I'll explain to you all these things when you get trained, but we are running out of time here. So the front end, this is the front end tool. This is where SAP and Microsoft work together. This is Microsoft Excel. If you see down up on the top here, and then you have a plugin, which is this one, which is a BEX Analyzer plugin. And I'm going to open a query, which is a predefined query, and show you some reporting capabilities. Okay. We did a demo query for one of the customers here. I'm going to use the same thing to show you that. Okay, look at this report. The user interface is Excel. This is Excel. This is called a BEX Analyzer tool, and it's a part of the BW front-end tool set. And look at this report. It shows report by region, open orders and incoming orders. What are open orders? Open orders are orders, sales orders which have not been delivered, meaning we have not delivered to the customer yet. What are incoming orders? Incoming orders are the total orders which are coming into the company, isn't it? Right? Now this is showing open orders and incoming orders. These two are KPIs, key performance indicators, and I have different options here for slicing and dicing. This is what I mean by analytics. This is what when a CEO asks a business analyst or an executive assistant for information, they will create this report on the fly and then drill down to get to that information what the CEO needs. Now, if I have the region-wise open orders and incoming orders, let's say the CEO calls right now and asks, okay, I want region-wise, country-wise data. So look at the slicing and dicing functionality. Just double-click on country, and you will see the information by region, by country. If you want to take it out, just double-click on the country. It goes away. Now there's another way to do the slice and dice. Just drag the country and drop it like this. It's the same thing. You double click or drag and drop. So this is the tool which is used for execution of queries and do your reporting in the BEX suite. All right. This is one of the options which you have as a BI consultant to deliver the reports and the functionality to your users as BI consultants. Okay, imagine the kind of power which you're giving in the hands of your users as BI consultants. Okay, this is nothing but information which can be used for critical decision making. All right, now I want to drill down by customer. Same, just bring the customer across here like this. I have by region, by country, by customer. I want to swap customer by division. So I drag and drop and place this here, right here on top of customer, the division. And now I have region wise, country wise, division wise, open orders and incoming orders. So the KPIs remain the same, but the way you're doing this is called multi-dimensional reporting. I can see the same KPIs in multi-dimension or multiple dimensions, right? That's what it is. I want to swap country by sales organization. So I'm going to drag and drop it here. You see now I have Asia, international sales, right? Domestic sales, North America is only domestic sales, division, etc. So this is the power which you will be giving to your users as SAP BI consultants for the rest of your life or till when you want to continue as BI consultants. Now, as a BI consultant, your role would be you're doing requirements gathering with the users, sitting with them, talking to them, gathering reporting requirements. Then you will build the back end, you will do the ETL transactions are being loaded via ETL process from your source systems to the data warehouse. Before you do that, you do the modeling, and then finally you build queries and reports, etc. So that's a comprehensive high-level summary of what you will be doing in terms of as a role as an SAP BI consultant. Okay. Now, SAP BI consultant is a techno-functional kind of a role which you will be playing, meaning it's not that you are sitting and doing only programming. All right, sitting in a corner, you will be interacting with the users for requirements gathering. The users can be mid-level management, operational management, or even senior management. So communication plays a very important role in that, your communication skills and also your technical skills. All right, so this is what is SAP BW front-end tool is, and what could you be doing as a BW consultant at a high level. I'm going to close this. I'm going to talk about curriculum right now. What is the curriculum which we are offering? It's the best in the world. So let me open that 1 second. This is the curriculum which we offer, and I will tell you why this is the best in the world and why we came up with this curriculum. As I told you, that 90% of the time you'll be extracting data from ECC system. As a quality BI consultant, if you don't know what ERP is and ECC fundamentals, you cannot build BI solutions efficiently. Okay, that's number one. You also should know core business processes in ECC. We call it procure to pay, OTC. Procure to pay means right from, if I'm a tire manufacturing company and I would like to buy raw materials, so right from my initiation of procurement of raw materials till I pay the supplier once the goods are received by me. That's a business process. It will entail to different functions in an organization, right? You need to go through different functions in an organization. We were going to teach you the generic process in a manufacturing company as well as how SAP ERP handles it. Similarly, order to cash. What is order to cash? Right from initiation of a sales order from a customer or an order confirmation from a customer till we receive cash from a customer. That process is called OTC, order to cash. And we're going to talk about that in detail, both the generic process in a manufacturing company and how SAP ERP handles. Apart from that, we also talk about another critical process, which is the HR process, which involves recruiting and all that, and how data is organized, etc. Now, why do we need to know these core business processes? We understand that people come from different walks of life, different background, and they might not be in a manufacturing company to begin with. They might not have any experience in that area. So it is very important for you to know these business processes, number one, and the terminology for you to be able to understand what is that the users are asking for from a reporting perspective when you're sitting in requirements gathering sessions. Okay, the user is saying incoming order, invoice, and all that, and it should be Greek and Latin for you guys. So it's very critical for you. Now, why did we come up with all these things? Because I myself used to interview a lot of people in US for placements, and I figured out that people get trained in SAP BW, but the training is substandard. It does not meet the expectation of an employer. If I am a project manager trying to interview a person and I know what my project is, from my project perspective, I know what the skills I need from a person, or what skill sets I need from a person whom I need to hire. And I find that a lot of people don't have the right training. I understand a lot of, people are not born as SAP BI consultants, so they get trained, they jack up their resume and give some experience and all that. But the fundamental thing people forget is quality training and having knowledge of simple things, the simplest of concepts, fundamental concepts is missing. So that's why we came up with this curriculum, which is mostly focused for a person to become a quality BI consultant. Even though you're getting trained from somebody, you should know everything what you know to get a job. All right, so that's why we call it the best in the world. Data storage in ECC. How data is stored in ECC? Like I said, a lot of data is being fetched your ETL from your ECC system to data warehouse. If you don't know how the data is stored in ECC, how are you going to extract the information into BW, right? That becomes a very critical skill which you need to have. So you should know how the data is stored. Data dictionary. What is the metadata in ECC? Okay, strictly from an interview perspective. Then we move on to ABAP Programming Foundation. ABAP Programming is a proprietary language. ABAP is a proprietary language of SAP. All its solutions have been built on ABAP. Okay, it's a 4th generation language and it's very easy to learn, much easier than SQL. People from commerce background or even arts background can even learn ABAP, and that's how I mentor students. Okay, so trust me, homemakers who come from uh, homemakers mean housewives who come from non-IT background, etc. They've learned ABAP and they're successful. So that is what is the ABAP Programming Foundation. Now, why do we teach ABAP? The reason why we teach ABAP is 90% of the transformation logic in ETL. Remember the ETL word? Transformation logic, 90% you can do by clicking a couple of buttons and radio buttons and some formula tools which are available. But if there is a complex logic to be written, you need to know ABAP, because that logic is written in ABAP programming. Now, if I'm a project manager, that's one of the reasons why we have ABAP Programming Foundation incorporated in this course. Now, if I'm a project manager and I know that my project needs complex transformation logic to be implemented, I have an option to hire a BW consultant with a zero ABAP and a BW consultant with ABAP. If I hire a consultant with zero ABAP, at the time when I need to deliver ABAP transformations, I need to get one more resource, isn't it, with ABAP skills, maybe a hardcore ABAPer. If I hire a guy who knows BW and ABAP, I don't have any headaches, isn't it? So I would rather prefer a person who knows BW and ABAP to be a part of my team. So it's an advantage even from a job perspective, that if you learn ABAP, if you know how to write transformations, logic, etc., you are in a better position to grab a job than people who just know BW and zero ABAP. All right. So this gives you an example as to why we have this. We have these incorporated because we know what the industry needs. Okay. That is what is critical. Then we have a lot of other SAP data warehousing concepts here all the way here. This is the reporting suite. This is a high level summary of what we are going to have, but one thing I want to highlight here is then we come to use of ABAP in SAP BW. Well, you did learn what ABAP programming foundation is, but what is the point if you don't know how to use it in SAP BW? So we have that also. Okay. So if you really see, it's more job oriented kind of a training or a mentoring program which runs for about 8 to 9 weeks, right? And very comprehensive in detail. Okay, so that is what is the strength. Our strength lies in the curriculum and the mentor. That's what it is. Okay, so then I have different BW related topics, but I move to SAP BO, Business Objects Introduction. This is a fairly detailed introduction which we do. I will give you the reason why we have this. The reason why we have this is, let's say you go to an interview, you have 20 questions asked by the interviewer. Out of 20 questions, 16 questions, you've handled everything relating to BW, you're awesome, the guy likes you. But the remaining 4 questions, he's asking you these questions. Let us say, do you know business objects? I don't want you to cut a sorry face there. So what I want you to do here is make sure that you can talk about BO, the different tools available. You can definitely confidently speak about how to develop a web intelligence report, how to do a universe, etc. Don't get overwhelmed with all this terminology. You're going to speak the same terminology during the training and after the training. All right. But all that I'm trying to say is I want you guys to be able to handle interviews even if somebody is asking business objects related questions. And these two topics which I've highlighted will take you through those topics. Okay. Then we move to SAP BW and HANA. What is HANA? It's an appliance. It has database and it's also an appliance which optimizes performance of any application, primarily analytic applications, which is our business intelligence. And this will show you, these concepts will be your migration concepts, how SAP BW on top of Oracle can be migrated to SAP BW on top of HANA. Those are the projects which are coming up in the market. Although HANA is really new, people have actually stopped implementing HANA and they want to wait and watch till there are few success stories in the industry. All right. When HANA came into the picture, everybody started saying HANA, HANA. They stopped saying dad, mom. Dad, mom was a rare thing coming out of somebody's mouth. It's all HANA. If you go to Amirpet, everybody talks about HANA, but people don't know what HANA is, number one. Number two is people don't know what the market is. Number three is it is so new that you can't even justify that you know HANA and you have done a real-time project. Okay, so even if you want to put something in your resume. So there's some things which people get fooled from outside world. The reality is what I'm going to talk about, and this is what this particular topic is, apart from all the technicalities. All right. So anyway, this is the curriculum. We call it the best in the world, and there is a reason why, which I already spoke about. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. So if you don't have any questions, thank you so much for attending the demo. I look forward to hear from you very soon. We would be starting, you can get in touch with Rakesh or Amrita, depending on whom you are coordinating on the course timing and the schedule and when we are starting and all that. And then hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for attending. Bye.